Hey everybody, this is Steve.
And this is Parnell.
Okay, and this is Flipping and Mashing, episode 26. Welcome back.
The other episode in the car where I didn't know what I was talking about light guns.
You got too worried about that. It's not. They're not going to care. But maybe somebody out there.
I got death threats.
You got death threats?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I felt like I did every time I slept. I felt like I was just putting our listeners' ears through pain and suffering.
Because you feel like you lied to them about how a light gun works.
Well, I know a little about a lot.
Sure.
And I was on a little babbling roll.
See, you just gotta be like me, where you just spit things out. You don't worry about what the actual facts are.
You just sound confident.
Exactly. You just keep talking right through it, and you'll be fine.
So when we got back, I looked it up, and I was like loosely right and loosely wrong. The way like NES did it was you pull the trigger, and then one frame goes black, one frame goes a white dot where the duck was, and then it goes back to normal. It's so fast you don't see it. So the screen does do stuff so that the photosensor in the gun can pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
There's a newer version on the Wikipedia for the light gun as well called the cathode ray timing method, and those are on the newer games, I guess. I think it says Super SNES. The Super Scope used it, but yes. So there is a trick on the CRT tube and the gun to make it work correctly.
Gotcha.
The LCD doesn't do it, so it doesn't work. But the LCD uses those infrared.
Okay.
So I'm hoping. This was all because of the arcade 1-up and our talk about Area 51.
Oh, yeah, and could they actually do it? But which they totally can do.
Dude.
It's easy.
I've been reading a lot of news about the arcade 1-ups. And all the reviews are coming back. They're all the same. It's really awesome if you don't expect a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
They're really good about shipping out new control panels if you don't have the protector on it, or someone had a screen issue. Like they'll ship parts out in they say 6 weeks, but it usually takes a week or two.
Cool.
I'm assuming 6 weeks is the full arcade cab to get replaced.
Sure.
But again, I think I'm gonna wait.
I'm definitely going to wait, because there is a heavy theory / rumor that the next version is going to have, or the next wave of 1-up arcade games is going to have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
I finally watched the YouTube about that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because you sent it to me, so that's why I'm telling our listeners
right.
this.
I was excited.
Yeah, it's going to have the X-Men, the Simpsons, and then the TMNT all packaged together.
And he did kind of mention that's a lot of controllers to put and keep that size, so they're going to have to make it...
Yeah, they'll probably have to dumb it down to either like 3 or 2.
No, they could do 4, but they're going to need to maybe make it deeper so that the arcade control panel can really
wrap.
Stretch.
Sure.
And it's not going to fit nice. Like, it won't slide in between 2 other games. It's going to kind of have to pop out a little bit.
I'm probably only going to buy one anyways, so that'd be totally fine for me.
Yeah. That'd be really awesome. There's a 12-in-1 version. I think it's only at Best Buy.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I was like, oh, how about I get that game? And then I realized there's no joystick on it.
Yeah,
that's the wheel and the buttons.
Yeah, that's what completely turned me off. So like all of the games that were in it don't need a joystick, and I was like, I'm not really interested in any of these games in the first place. And then without a joystick, it just doesn't feel like an arcade game to me.
Well, and I was thinking, hey, I'll get the 12-in-1. Then I can mod it with the Pi, Raspberry Pi. But then when I saw no joystick, I was like, this is a completely worthless modding cabinet.
Sure.
You would want one that had like 1 or 2 player joysticks with the trackball and that scroll wheel.
Sure.
Well, there's a lot of people modding that the dial or whatever, it's like a spinning hockey puck kind of thing.
Yeah.
It kind of clicks.
Yeah.
And the old real arcade, it kind of just free spins. So there's people trying to mod it to make it smoother and feel...
Oh, the current one clicks.
Yeah, it's very clicky. It doesn't want to, like, you can't just rip it and let it spin.
Okay.
It just... I haven't felt one, so it must just turn and stop. Or at least it only spins a couple clicks. There's also someone that, like I said, I think earlier, someone took one from Altamark, which is a nicer arcade controller place, and they modded it in. But you have to make your own photo disc. However, that'd be awesome.
Right.
Oh,
all right. So
we got email.
I want to hear what these
Steve,
very informative.
here's what
people
happened.
Besides Chris,
I got
so
locked
I don't really
out.
want to hear what Chris has to say. His opinion is very minor to anybody else on the planet.
Like he has anything good to talk about.
It doesn't really matter what he thinks. He's just going to listen to us anyways.
Did I mention that on our last podcast that he started watching my Hydro Thunder streams on YouTube?
Yeah.
How
I
bored-
think you mentioned it.
How bored must he be? He commented that I didn't talk enough. That was funny. All right, so my brother-in-law, he said, "Hey guys, what is your favorite Hallmark Christmas movie? Also, what is your favorite cigar?" So, hidden fact, I might be slightly addicted to Hallmark Christmas movies.
Shut the fuck up. Are you serious?
Maybe.
Oh my god. No, I hate Hallmark, the TV channel in general. I hate everything that comes out of it pretty much. And I'm not a huge fan of Christmas movies besides like some big hit classics like Home Alone and
Rudolph,
yeah. Well, I mean,
Frosty.
see, all that kind of stuff is really boring to me. It's like
Your kids would love
all the stop motion stuff. Oh, he does like it. I'm not going to crap on him for liking this stuff. Enjoy whatever you're going to enjoy. I want him to watch these films. I don't have to be in the room to watch it. So,
Shame on you.
yeah.
Shame on you.
But I just watched the new animated Grinch. I would give that a thumbs up. I thought that was very funny and good. But go on. Tell me about your favorite Hallmark movie.
Oh, God.
Hallmark Christmas
So
movie.
this all started last year. So I've never... my wife is a fucking Christmas obsessed.
Mm-hmm.
When she first moved into the house, I said, "Hey, you can have like one storage bin for each like holiday,
Sure.
just so we have. Cause there's not a lot of storage in the house.
One storage bin per holiday. That seems good.
Yeah. She had one for like Valentine's Day. For Christmas, I think there was a room,
Wow.
and I kept bugging her, and she'd get mad at me. So I've stopped. I mean, I do have a whole living room, aka game room, full of stupid games. But now with a child, Christmas is going to be a lot more fun. But what happened was last year, or maybe it was 2 years ago. Anyway, we don't have cable. I think it's a waste of money. But Sling TV came out. It was $20 a month.
Yeah.
So for the holiday season, we ordered Sling, and then there was this, a deal where we can get 4 packages for $10. So we did that, and we had a Hallmark channel. So my wife loves watching Hallmark Christmas movies. I somehow started watching them. Usually they use some attractive people, so it's not like it's horrible to watch.
Okay.
The acting is hit or miss. You'll see a lot of the same actors over and over.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them you might like, some of them are annoying. But this year they've used a lot of hits, more popular actors. So Leanne Rimes was in one recently, who, my God, she has probably been their best actress they've ever used in a Christmas movie.
Okay.
But also the guy from that Dome TV show, where he was the sheriff.
I never watched Dome, so I'm not even sure
Okay.
what you're referring to.
I don't want to be weird, but I might have the Hallmark Christmas movie app on my phone.
Yep, you're getting weird.
So what happened was we started watching Christmas movies. They're not horrible, but they're not good.
Because they're from Hallmark.
Yeah, I don't know, whatever. I end up spending most of the time throwing out my arms saying, like, your fucking lack of communication. Like, you had to say one word, and you would have fixed this whole problem, and you don't do it because obviously it creates drama.
That's 99% of Hallmark's plot points.
Oh, my God. And so my wife laughs at me, but somehow I've kept watching them. Last year, I think I watched all of them on the normal Hallmark, not the movies and mysteries, whatever. So the main thing that I like about these Hallmark movies, and this is, I know this is really dumb, but when the good feel stories happen and you're so happy and proud of that person or whatever, it just feels good. It's the Christmas spirit.
Okay.
And it makes me feel like a better person. So
That's
for
good.
the next couple months, I'm going to be a super nice person.
Okay.
Because these Hallmark movies.
All right, well, that's cool. That's good. I've already noticed that you have a better attitude in the office, FYI.
There was a movie about a princess. I think it's called Crown for Christmas. And I want to say the actress is From that damn TV show. Back in the day when we were little. Wonder Years. She was Winnie Cooper.
The main girl?
Yeah.
Interesting. I guess I remember what the
She's
main
been in
guy
video
looks
games?
like, but I don't remember what the main girl
Yeah.
looks like, to be honest. I know that there was the counterpart to him, but I don't remember what she looked like.
Yeah, Winnie. Yep. So she's in a bunch now on the Hallmark Channel.
Okay.
So he asked what my favorite. That might be one of my better favorites.
I guess in general for Christmas movies, my favorite Christmas movie would definitely be Home Alone 1.
That's not from Hallmark.
No, it's not.
Otherwise, what's your favorite cigar? I don't
know what brands are for cigars.
have one yet. I get the Cigar magazine.
Do you?
Yeah. I got big into them for a little bit, but I don't smoke inside.
Sure.
Yeah, it's kind of smelly. And then even when you're smoking outside a cigar, you just smell like it when you come in. So my wife's not a fan of that smell.
Sure.
So I'll have a cigar like a couple times a year, and me and Nick, my brother-in-law, will have a cigar together. And we did on a vacation this last summer, and we kind of have been talking about it. So I need to have a stash of a couple, but I'm not brand loyal. I don't have specific tobacco flavors or leaf or country things picked out.
I pretty much just smoke cigars when they're given to me free.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
The only ones I do buy are the Swisher Sweet Wood Tips because they taste good.
Okay. All right. So what's next in the mailbag?
We have Chris.
Oh, goddamn.
Fucking Chris. He's emailed us a couple times.
Oh, jeez.
Episode 23.
Episode 23. So this is a couple.
I lost the
episodes ago.
password. Forgot about the Gmail account for a while.
All right. Let's see what he has
Parnell,
to say.
can't believe you didn't tell Nikki about AC/DC. That's baller.
That was something else. It really was. The fact that you secretly went out, got it, and then thought that you could get away with it. Then she saw it at your parents' place.
Well, I mean, she was going to find out. I knew she would find out about it.
Either way, it was something else. Good job. I mean, it worked out in the end.
I didn't get away with it. I did get yelled at.
I'm not saying you got away with it, but I'm saying you still got the machine.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only good thing is that it was gamer
money. It's better to
money.
ask for forgiveness than ask permission. All right.
It was gamer money. That's the only way I got away with it.
Sure.
She would have killed me. I can't believe you didn't wrap AC/DC so you couldn't mess it up.
Ooh.
Incorrect. The game was wrapped.
Okay, well. The
problem was...
He is right, though. It did get broken.
Yeah, the under cabinet lighting. I can fix it, but yeah, it's broke. It tore the under cabinet lighting LED strip.
Sure.
And it didn't even tear it at a joint. It tore it in the middle, so I'll have to replace a whole foot section, which is cheap. But I have to do it, and it's kind of dumb. But when I move it out of his house, I'll use my dolly, and I'll have help instead of doing it single, like by myself.
Sure.
I love that you guys are debating if a creature is fake or not.
I'm not sure what he's referring to.
I asked him as well, and I don't know. Gross. Steve, don't ever talk about Parnell's boner ever again.
I'll try not to.
Nah, I don't know if you will. I love that Steve's trying to get you to sell your Tron for a pair of H2 overdrives. Sell Lord of the Rings. That game sucks. He hates Lord of the Rings. He's owned Tron before.
Sell Tron. Sell Tron before you sell Lord of the Rings.
Shut your face.
I'm not saying you should sell Tron. If you want Hydro Thunder, then you should definitely sell Tron.
No, Hydro Thunder is cheap. H2 Overdrive is those $2,500 games.
For H2 Overdrive, which is a better game.
I think I'd sell Baywatch.
Well, that's easy. Yeah, of course you would sell Baywatch.
I would sell Baywatch and Black Knight before I...
Yes, I know you would. That's why I didn't put those on the table.
He hates Lord of the Rings, though. He says boring as hell.
He's mistaken. It's a good game.
I thought it was a great game.
It is a good game.
Parnell, go for the trifecta. 2 Hydro Thunders and a Water World.
There you go. That would be perfect.
That would, I think, be... my life would be complete.
What would you...
I would quit.
You'd be done.
I would do everything.
It's over. You win.
Sell
Baywatch.
medieval.
Sell...
They don't need Medieval Manus anymore either. You have Waterworld. Waterworld is Medieval Manus's knockoff.
Okay. Okay. All right. So be it. All right. Go on. Next email.
All right, so we have a newer email from Chris.
Okay. We'll go through this again. So this is the Halloween one, right?
Yeah.
So this is for the Halloween episode, which is 2 episodes ago.
This is from November 3rd. Okay, you clowns need to know what movies you are talking about if you're going to talk about scary movies.
Well,
sorry, I can't stop laughing.
no, that's a valid point.
I feel like we did forget, but like we slowly worked toward finding the name. Oh, it was one with Johnny Depp. He was pissed that we took that long.
Oh yeah. No,
The writer one. But see, that what should have happened. I don't know.
He's referring to the secret window.
Yeah.
But it took us like an hour and a half to figure out.
But what
that
happened
was
is
the secret window.
either if it was stupid content, we should have edited it out.
Yeah, that would be the editor's fault for sure.
Good thing we pay somebody for that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Jesus, you guys were driving me nuts not knowing the names of movies you wanted to reference. It's a Halloween podcast. Take a few minutes to familiarize yourself with a couple of titles before you record. Additionally, based on episode 24, I now have to spend my morning watching Parnell play Hydro Thunder since you have talked about it so much. What is becoming of my life? Hello, Parnell's mom, Chris.
Parnell's mom doesn't listen to this episode. Or any episode, for that matter.
She does. She has a long commute every day. So she said...
Does she really listen to this?
No.
Exactly. Exactly. So, Chris, your hellos went to nobody. Have a nice night.
Hey, we got a call out.
Is that it for the mailbag?
For mail? Yes.
Okay.
We got called out.
So Dennis from the Eclectic Gamers podcast, he was on the Slam Tilt podcast. At least I'm pretty sure it was Slam Tilt. And we all listen to this Slam Tilt and the Eclectic Gamers. They're great podcasts. If you haven't listened to them, go ahead and check them out. Slam Tilt mainly just talks about pinball, and Eclectic Gamers is more kind of like us, where they go back and forth.
Yeah, I think they even do board games.
Anyways, he was on Slam Tilt, and they were interviewing him and asking him a bunch of different questions, and he had name dropped us in the process. And he said that, well, he's not the only one out there. There's also Flippin' and Mashing, but they don't just do pinball and video games. They're also into arcade stuff as well. I think he even dropped the fact that we're into mobile games, which is, I know, a weird scenario. A lot of people wouldn't even consider that gaming. But I don't know, it was kind of exciting to hear our names on a different podcast.
I was listening to it while I was doing dishes or cooking. I was in the kitchen. I remember this, and I had my. When I do dishes, I put my phone on the windowsill and do my thing. I'll be listening to a podcast, like in my little world, washing dishes, doing a chore that my wife doesn't have to do, right?
Sure.
Because I'm in my world.
Because you're a good husband,
right? Well, supposedly.
Sure.
And then my wife comes up to me and starts talking to me. I'm like,
"Stop talking.
You're gonna break my washing cycle. Why would you?
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't you let your husband just continue to wash all these dishes every day?"
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But yeah, no. So I heard it while I was doing one of those two things. Freaked out. I screamed.
Really?
And then I couldn't even pause it. I kept fumbling the phone and trying to pause so I could get the right time and then send it to you.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a little kid. It's kind of funny.
No, either way, it's always exciting to hear your name on a different podcast or a different show. So yeah. It was cool.
Yeah. So thank you, Dennis.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Dennis. I guess thank you, Slam Tilt, for having him on.
Yeah, not editing out her name.
Yeah, exactly. Cut this out. And for any other new listeners who showed up because of that, well, welcome.
Yeah. Otherwise, I was listening to Slam Tilt the other day. If you enjoy hearing, if you enjoy documentaries or you enjoy hearing about pinball's history or anybody that worked in the industry, Slam Tilt episode 114. It's called A Banner Day. They have on Oren Day, who is a software engineer for Data East Sega Stern, and he goes into a ton of his games that he created, how he got hired, and he's even been contacted from Stern just a few years ago to help program. So it was awesome to hear from him talk about games he's worked on. We heard about a Viper prototype, the Viper car. There's a game, Viper Night Driving. There was a prototype that came out, and no joke, fucking this morning on Pinside, someone listed a Viper prototype pinball machine for a crazy amount of money. But now you can actually see it. Like, there's pictures of it.
Interesting.
No one believed that there was a prototype. So
there's only maybe one in the world then.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he has a couple of his own prototypes where there's something like one thing different or a ramp was different, like Guns N'
Sure,
Roses.
because he's working on them or whatever, or trying
Yeah,
to figure
like
stuff out.
there's a Frankenstein that has something different, and in Guns N' Roses, I love hearing stuff from that. What's funny is he probably had, pinball kind of blew up again recently, but like, do you think working in the industry you would ever be interviewed, 20 years from now to talk about something that you did, and people would just be chomping at the bit to hear about it?
No.
Yeah, weird, right? So I thought that was cool.
Speaking of a similar scenario like that, would be in some sad news. Stan Lee died, and just in just the way that you had said how many years later people would be interested in wanting to hear from you. I know that when Stan Lee first started out, he wasn't famous, he wasn't a big deal, but now that all these new movies have come out and Marvel has blown up in the last decade, he's become a figurehead for Marvel, and he gets maybe a little bit too much credit for Marvel. A lot of people think he's the creator. He's technically not the creator. He's one of the big people in the very beginning of Marvel, and he helped kind of redesign it and make it go in a more serious. And he changed the way, I guess, Marvel goes and how we now think of Marvel. Before it was less serious, it was more cartoony or whatever, where now it applies more to reality. But he made like the X-Men. He made most of all the iconic characters that you can remember. He either created them or co-created them. Again, he has become more of a face for Marvel than a lot of other people who maybe worked in the background. So some people get angry that he became the face. But honestly, there's no reason to argue at this point. It just a legend died. He was a big deal. He helped give us a world that we all love, and all those Marvel movies that you got to see are heavily influenced by him and don't exist without him.
Yeah. Nope. Moment of silence for him.
Yeah.
Even DC tweeted that he helped. I mean, without competition, nothing moves forward, so I would agree with that.
I liked the fact that DC tweeted that out. That basically, I think they said the same thing pretty much, that he was a legend that helped redefine how comics are and stuff like that. So what do you got in front of you right now?
I got a NOS. I think it's just the basic Ventures one.
Just the original one there. I got myself a Rockstar Zero Carb Destiny 2 Collector's Edition.
This kind of reminds me of orange juice.
Really? I guess I've never thought that, but
I mean, it's orange.
It is orange, and maybe that was their point.
So my daughter was up at 5, and I'm by myself for a few days. My wife is on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
And while I was making her bottle, I had a Red Bull from the other day. I just pounded it, and I've been flying ever since.
On the Red Bull, did it have Pac-Man on it?
Oh, no. So 2 days ago, I don't know. There was a day that we went down to my sister's house in the cities, and I was working on the house, getting light switches replaced, all that stuff. Excuse me. And on the way back, I grabbed a Red Bull as a just in case.
Sure.
I don't want to fall asleep. And when I was looking at it, I made sure to grab a Pac-Man Red Bull, because someone else on Twitter, somebody had, or maybe it was YouTube, whatever. I saw somebody have it, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. Kind of didn't know what it was about. It didn't make sense, but I just bought one. And then reading the can, they had a Pac-Man game from Namco, and they have a Red Bull level or levels. So you pull the tab up to open it, and under that is a code. And you enter your code into the game.
What game?
Pac-Man.
So what is it? Is this on your phone?
Correct.
Okay, so it's a mobile game.
Mobile game. Pac-Man from Namco. It's official. The only thing I don't like is that it's one of those free to, the basic level's free, but there's ads every, 1 or 2 plays, and it's a 30-second ad. It's so frustrating. You get to go in. You can enter. So if I bought more,
sure,
you can enter codes. It gives you special Red Bull chips to buy more tries or more levels or something.
Looks like you can maybe even be the Red Bull Mini Cooper, drive around with that maybe?
Yeah. And I haven't bought another one, so.
Sure.
But that's a cool mix-up. It was smart of them.
Mm-hmm.
So. Because that retro train is hauling big time right now. Speaking of which, Pac-Man 1-Up Arcade is dropping to Walmart real soon.
I already saw it.
Is it out?
Well, if it wasn't Pac-Man, it was a different one. But I was at Walmart like yesterday, and I saw a 1-Up.
It would be Pac-Man just dropped.
Okay.
So the Sopranos pinball at the Rex, which is our little pinball hangout, had been broken for a while. There was like a trough issue where it wouldn't eject. It didn't see the balls. I finally figured out the ball 4 opto wire had broken off at the switch for the slingshot.
Right.
I didn't have a soldering iron at the time.
That's per usual.
My remote one was in Steve's game.
That's true.
So I went home, grabbed my solder station, which is kind of a cheap one from MJPA or something. Came back the next day.
Which is probably better in shape than your normal one.
True, but for some reason the tip is kind of jacked up, so solder won't stick to it. So I couldn't get solder to like really get on the tip and get the thing soldered.
Is
right.
it a brand new one?
No, it's not new.
Okay. Because I noticed like whenever I use a soldering iron, if they're brand new tips, they're nice and sharp and they look good, but they're so sharp or small or whatever that it's hard for it to stick to it.
Do you sand it or what? You sandpaper it?
No, I just continue to use it, and then like after using it for maybe like a day or two, then it's mint. Then it's perfect again.
It's worn in.
Yeah.
And I did find a new tip, and so it's a newer tip.
Sure.
And I don't solder often, so maybe it still is that, but I could barely get that damn thing to work. I had the wire on.
Wait, you bought a new tip?
No, it came in like a pack of 3 back in the day.
Okay, because I don't say, as far as I know, you never buy new tips for your soldering irons.
No, that orange one, that Weller, I need a new tip.
Yes,
so bad.
you do.
We should get a new tip.
Yeah.
The wire somehow stuck on. I gave it a little tug. It worked. I play tested. It worked. Not even a week later, like not even the weekend, the bar owner calls me. He's like, "Hey, this game's broken." I'm like, "Damn it!" And it was hard. It's hard to find time because I do this as like for free out of love of my heart of trying to get a location set up. I fix his stuff. I don't request money because I want a place to play for us. So I head down there when I had some time. Again, forgot my soldering iron. And it was the same problem, that wire come off. And this time I said, screw you, solder station. I grabbed, the next day, I said, hey, tomorrow I'm going to come in. It was a Thursday night. So I said, Friday at 4 o'clock, I'm coming in. I'm going to solder this. It's going to take 5 minutes. We'll be done.
Sure.
Fixed.
Sure.
So I came in here on Friday day, grabbed the solder, put it in my car. Almost forgot to go there, but it was a snowstorm. Do you remember that?
Yes.
So it was a snowstorm. I still went down there.
I was surprised. I really didn't think that you were going to go down there because of the snow.
I don't give a...
No, I'm glad that you went, but I didn't think that you were.
I don't know what car I drove that day, but...
I'm sure it was a Jeep.
I got 4x4 and snow tires, so screw it. I'll drive them, whatever. It's all the other dumbasses that worry me of sliding. Because no one in this city gets snow tires. They're just dumb sliding around. It drives me freaking crazy. We're in the snow belt, like... It's not Canada, but there's certain places in Canada where they require snow tires legally.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But not Minnesota, so... Yeah, my 3-season tire works great in the winter. Dumbass. So, got that fixed. Play tested a bunch. Wiped the playfield down. It's playing pretty good. It still needs a full clean
But it's
job.
working now.
Yeah, it's been on its route its whole life.
Because I know there was a couple people that really wanted to play it, so it's good that
that
he's making cash.
That
off
new
of
guy I
it.
met down there, Jeff, he wanted to join our league too, so we got to get that going. But he even said that's his favorite game.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Over the Batman.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, who is it? Your partner?
Kevin.
Kevin loves that game. So it's clearly a fan favorite. I think it's probably just because of the condition that it's in. When I look at it, I think it's old, it's beat up. It's just not. I don't know why
Kevin
it would be
have
your
one
favorite.
as well. It's a super fun game. It's not ultra hard. It's not ultra easy. But there
Literally, you
easy
hit
shots.
it, you're gonna hit something.
Yeah, that's the fun part with it. Well, I think also the Stern Playboy is the same way.
It is.
It's just fun.
They're basically the same game.
it's a funny game. There's some swearing modes where it beeps out everything. It's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And because of how many levels you have to work your way up to the Godfather or whatever, it feels like it's a deep game. I don't know. It's a fun game. I don't know how it fetches that much money, but good for anybody who sells one.
Yeah.
So that game's fixed. I started working on Black Knight again. I need to get back on it. I put this new board in.
What's the issue with it right now?
I have to repin that connector.
What connector?
Remember when I was pulling the boards out to ship out for refurb?
We ripped that one off.
And the one took the pin with it. So it got so hot that it like soldered itself into the connector. Do you remember?
Yes. But I thought like when you ship these things off to get replaced, when he replaced that on the board?
No, that board's in the game.
Oh.
I'm sorry, the connector's in the game. The board got fixed. He put a new connector on the board.
Okay,
Yes.
so you just have to change the wire that's going into it.
Yeah, I have to clip off the old connector. I have a new
easy.
connector, and I had kept forgetting my punch down tool. I brought it. It's in my backpack.
Oh, okay, but for the most part, that should be fairly easy to do. Just cut it off, restrip the wires.
We repinned your
Yeah.
connector on that game. There's a guy. I put a new bridge board in. So I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name. Ink Chonito. He designed this and makes it. I bought it from him. It takes 2 of the bridge rectifiers out of the game and a huge capacitor, and you wire it directly to this board, which has 2 fuses, so that if something locks on or something bad happens, a fuse blows instead of anything bad happening in your game. Really nice update. Totally recommend it. It works for all your system games and even some Sega, like so Baywatch could use it. And he has instructions. So that was super nice. Once I repin that connector, I can plug everything in. I also have to, though, rebuild the flippers and have to make sure that the end of stroke switch is not broken. Because if that's stuck on, that'll, again, lock something up on the board.
Okay.
And then it's just cleaning it down, making sure there's coin mechs in the door and that they work. And that game is getting dropped down at the bar.
Awesome.
The LED kit's almost fully installed. I know there's a handful left.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then that's off to Baywatch. And
The clean down's going to take a while because the whole entire surface is pretty grimy. But it actually would probably... I kind of enjoy fixing the surface like that.
yeah, I remember
wiping it all
we
down,
did
cleaning
Roller
it
Disco.
down.
And you got a game you're going to talk about in a bit. You'll have to do it again.
Yeah, Dragon.
You just need to find... The hard part is we both have kids now. It's like you have to find time where you can set aside a couple hours
Right.
and then get in your zone.
Yeah, I'll just have to get a babysitter. And then...
My buddy Dan, our buddy Dan from Pinball League, also offered to help. He loves Black Knight, so he said he'd help too.
Interesting.
He said he'd own a game, but he has no room in his house, and I said there's always room.
There you go. Yeah.
What else do I got on my list? Oh, yeah, your pickup.
So we found another... The same generation as my roller disco. What generation is that?
System 1 Gottlieb.
System 1
Early
Gottlieb.
70s.
So we there's another game in our area. The guy's trying to sell it as Dragon. And I like the backsplash a lot. I like kind of the look of it. It's... Because it is a Generation 1, it's a fairly cheap game. Something that I can actually afford. And it's going to be beneficial for me, not just because I'll have another game, but so my current game, Roller Disco, is having some issues, and we believe that it's either a board issue or it could be a couple other things, but I fully think that if I get both of these games, I can rip the parts out of Dragon, which is working. Dragon does work. I'll rip the board out of that, test it on Roller Disco, and find out if that is the issue. If that is the issue, either one, I'll leave it in Roller Disco and then just sell it off as a working machine now, or I will then be able to buy a new board to be able to slap in there, because now I know the issue. Now I know what the problem is. That fixed it. Good. Or I'll just basically I'll be able to rip pieces off of Dragon and really figure out how everything works.
So it's a CPU board that we think is having an issue on Roller Disco, and it probably is. Dragon, I have pictures. All the boards are original. That same original battery's in there. It's not leaking yet, so we got to kind of save it, cut the battery out, put the replacement in.
Sure.
And then, if your whole goal is to sell them, you could do a package deal of 2 system on 1.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, but it's another cheap solid state game.
I'm gonna play it just for a moment. I'm not gonna hang on to it. I will enjoy playing it, but I do. My intention on getting Dragon is to 1, flip it, but 2, to also help me figure out how to fix Roller Disco properly, so that they both are up and running, and then just flip them and get them out the door. I don't plan on hanging on to either one of them.
Yeah, the hard part is System 1 boards are replaceable, but the CPU board is $200 to $250 for a direct replacement.
Right, they're expensive boards compared to the actual machine itself.
Yeah, you're spending more on boards than you are on the machine.
Right, so you can get it up working and running. You can put in some flashy bulbs, make it as cool as possible, and maybe even like repaint the outside a little bit, make it mint, and then flip it and sell it for, I don't know, however much you can get it. We'll figure that out here. I'm going to try to put the price high and then let it slide down. But I'm also going to put it in a more metropolitan area. I'm not going to try to sell it here in the Twin Ports. I'm going to go straight for the Twin Cities.
I could list it both.
I will. I'm going to list it in both.
I mean, the one good thing is,
but I know it's going to hit.
I think the game will sell between 400 and 600.
Sure.
Potentially both could.
Sure.
Maybe. In clean working order. But there's not a lot of collectors up here, so if the game is quote unquote cheap, you'll have more hits, more nibbles up here. Down in the cities, there's just more people.
Right.
And more people that are into pinball, and so they'll eat stuff up. And maybe this isn't a hot game, but I mean, there's just way more people down there that are into pinball than up here. Although we keep hearing about Dan, our guy from League.
Right, but
was curling, and he met somebody that has 3 pinball machines in his house.
Which is cool. And I know that there's collectors up here, and there might be people who want to buy it. I just know, just for the simple marketing of this thing, trying to get it out the door, we're going to want to go to a bigger pool.
Yeah.
We can try to sell it here. Great. If we do sell it here, it's a lot less hassle. But I know that if we're going to get a guaranteed hit, it's going to be down south.
Yeah, I bet. I'm not disagreeing.
So we'll see what happens. Plus, I think I can get more money out of it from somebody in the Twin Cities.
What are you saying, Steve? You saying we're cheapskates up here?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
I have winter tires listed on Craigslist. Same thing. I mean, I may be able to get rid of these for $100. Jesus. I mean, people are just... It's bad up here.
Mm-hmm.
No one sees value in anything.
Well, it just matters what the value is towards you. I mean, I think we've discussed this a bunch of times. If pinball is a big deal to you, or video games is a big deal to you, you are willing to spend more money on that thing. And just by simply going into a bigger pool of people, going from the Twin Ports to the Twin Cities, you are going to be entering into an area where there's more likelihood of finding somebody whose priority is pinball. And then you can sell it at a much higher price to them because they are willing to pay more, than somebody who is, well, I'll buy it if it's at this price range. Whereas they're willing to just buy it off you flat out. Or at, slightly less instead of, it's not $200, I'm not going to take it.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
I have video game arcade travels. You've been to an arcade that we mentioned.
Okay. So that isn't really a good arcade. It's not a good arcade at all.
How could you say that about an arcade?
Because it's not an arcade. It's just this redemption-based little casino for kids. It's not.
I love how you say it's a casino for kids.
Yeah, it's not.
We're teaching them to grow up to be
Well, that's 100% what it is.
Keeping
It's just
casinos
you
around.
put in some money, you maybe get some tickets, possibly if you get the right coin drop and stuff like that. So no, there's two like actual video games in there. There's a side-by-side motorcycle racing game, and there is like an older car racing game. I didn't even really see what it was because I just get a quick loop and I said, we're getting the F out of here. So that was that. So it's nothing like the Edge, which has a small arcade, but it's still a good compact arcade that's got a lot of good stuff in it. And then of course Adventure Zone has got a lot of quality stuff.
Yeah, me and you jumped into the downtown bowling alley Skyline. Right?
That's better.
And that had there's like 2 rooms of arcade equipment. Yeah. Some of it was Redemption, but a lot of it's like kind of like GameWorks or.
Yep. They have a much better
Buster
selection.
Games.
Because they got a lot of shooters, a lot of the stuff that you would see down at the Edge.
Yeah, they have a lot of mobile games that have turned into arcade games.
Yeah,
Redemption games.
Yep, like Angry Birds and stuff like that.
And then they had the bubble hockey and a couple arcade, well, a handful of arcade. But then they had the big giant like icebreaker and stuff. I mean, they're freaking huge. I don't know how you fit that stuff. What doors they bring them in?
I don't know.
They must come in pieces.
They must, because think about like the huge shooters where you have to sit inside of them.
Oh, God.
You wouldn't be able to bring those through any doors. They would have to come in pieces.
Yeah, and I know, like for instance, Hydro Thunder's original sit down there's 2 versions. There's a 2-piece and a 3-piece. So
Okay.
that definitely makes it easier.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, but
so we went bowling, and we had a good time bowling. But then like afterwards, I wanted to check out their little arcade. 1 for the podcast, but 2, I mean, I would actually gladly play in it because he wanted to play in it as well. As soon as we kind of like walked by it while going into the bowling alley. But as soon as I saw it was just Redemption games, I was like, we can find a much better arcade than this. Let's get out of here. So we left.
yeah, when I first got into the pinball hobby, I freaking scoured Duluth for games. So I would. Every bowling alley I ran into quick to see if they had an arcade, and I remember walking around that one. Which bowling alley is that called again?
I don't remember the name of it. It's up in Hermantown, but I don't know. It's not called Hermantown Bowling Alley.
I remember walking around trying to. Oh, so that's Skyline. Incline is the one downtown.
You're right.
Okay. I remember I'm like doing circles in the arcade, like, God, there's got to be something fun here. And I remember it being just an arcade, but no pinball. There's the one leaving the Twin Cities on 35 going north. They've changed the name a couple times, but I thought it was like a stripper place. It's on the right when you're going north. Split Rocks is what they call it. It's right near Forest Lake. One time I was down by my friend's house in Forest Lake, and I was waiting for them to get done with something. And I was like, well, I might as well pop in here and check it out.
Sure.
And it was like 10 in the morning or something stupid. So I walk in, and they had a huge arcade.
Really?
But there's no pinball. But I just remember being like, holy shit, this is big. But Forest Lake's also a small but growing town there's not much there. So
Definitely.
their bowling alley is it's almost like a Cub Foods, like just a huge warehouse. We got Pokemon Go comes out. Well, we're recording a day again, but comes out the 16th of November.
Sure.
One of our friends just got back from Japan, and he said that they are just absolutely freaking bonkers over Pokemon.
Right.
He would go to Pokemon stores, card stores. They were sold out of cards.
Yep.
The whole
he
trip.
sent me some photos of a bunch of cosplayers standing out in front of these Pokemon stores and stuff like that.
And what's funny is that's normal over there.
Right.
Like adults or kids.
Right. Like that's them
Over here
on a Tuesday.
If you dressed up, people would think like, hey, Halloween's on
sure.
in October there,
Right.
dumbass.
Or some kind of crazy
what kind of weirdo are you?
Yeah, there has to be at least some kind of gimmick, some kind of party, something actually going on. No, they're just in cosplay.
Yeah.
Because it's Wednesday.
Which is cool, but they have he was showing pictures of cosplay stores. They just have 8 floors.
What?
And every floor is, here's anime characters, different hair you can buy.
Wow.
Different clothing, different makeup. Every floor was a different, holy smokes.
Wow.
That's a money-making business over there.
Interesting. It's just a totally different world.
Yeah, it's becoming more popular over here, or at least more public, where a lot of people are maybe not as afraid to do it.
I suppose, but it's still related to like events.
Correct. Yeah, cons and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That was Harry Potter for Halloween, so I'm starting to get down
again. It's an event.
Every day I get out of bed and I feel like I'm a wizard, Steve. I'm a wizard. I'm a wizard, Steve.
Speaking of which, I've heard that the new movie is just tanking review-wise.
The new Beasts.
Yeah.
Dude, on the pinball forum, people want a Harry Potter pinball, right? I'm all for it.
Sure.
Based off the original book series.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Cannot get enough.
Makes sense.
The Fantastic Beasts movie, I could not make it through the first movie. I just turned it off. I don't know if it was boring or what, but I just did not like it. I posted that up in the thread for the Harry Potter game, and people, not a lot, but a couple people like bash me, like, that is lame, blah, blah, blah. Fantastic Beasts is new, has way more stuff, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, did you totally skip out on the original series? Because there's a ton of content that could be pulled. The Fantastic Beasts is its own, it's in Harry Potter's universe, but it's its own thing. It's nothing associated with it.
Right.
The second movie has a little bit more to do with kind of the backstory of that snake and some other characters, but...
Right. Just
funny.
because you like one does not mean you're going to like the other one, even though they're in the same universe.
Yeah. Well, even Fantastic Beasts 2 seems a lot different than the first movie. It seems like they're trying to make it an action movie and kind of generate a new story. And it's not... the first movie was, he lost a bunch of beasts. He's trying to collect them again. Kind of like Pokemon.
Sure.
But there was a Fantastic Beasts book written by J.K. Rowling that was kind of just about the beasts.
Right.
It wasn't really a real book. I mean...
But did she write the script?
I don't think so.
Oh, she didn't.
That movie was based completely... They generated their own story off of it.
Okay.
Because the book that she wrote was just an
know.
encyclopedia of monsters.
No, I knew that much, but I guess I thought that she wrote this script on top of it or something like that. Or at least maybe the new movie. Yeah. Because I thought that she was heavily involved.
She might have been. She usually tries to keep things locked down, but, there's making money on one hand and...
Yeah.
Her opinion on the other. But they haven't made a pinball machine and she hates pinball, so...
That's right. We had this conversation already once before that she dislikes pinball because she relates it to bars.
Yeah, and drinking. Which you called your main drink butterbeer.
Yep.
Get real.
Yep.
It's cream soda. What I really hope is that like someone like Jersey Jack, who has done more family friendly, they did Wizard of Oz. They could easily show her the Wizard of Oz as a pinball machine and how awesome it was, and they could make a fantastic Harry Potter. I would sell my firstborn child to buy that game. I think. Well, I don't know. I mean, she might like it, so.
Would it be worth it? I mean, like financially. I mean, I don't know if you'd be able to get enough out of it.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
She can't like do any work yet. She just kind of makes work. That might be a Tron seller. We didn't talk about Pokemon Go, man.
Oh, all right. Okay, sorry. Pokemon Go.
No,
go on.
Let's go. So it's a mix of Pokemon Go for your phone, but brought to the Switch. So you can actually, they still allow you to integrate in some of your Pokemon Go content.
So it's heavily directed.
Yeah,
related.
You can like transfer it into the game.
Sure.
On your Switch. But they also made a Pokemon Ball as a controller that you can... So there's the Pokemon Ball controller that is kind of the main feature of the game. It has motion control, and the little circle that's like the lock on a Pokeball is a little joystick.
Okay. Is it a pure ball, or is it like on a stand?
No, it's it's a ball.
Crazy. Go on.
So similar to Pokemon Go, when you find a Pokemon, you make the motion of throwing the ball, and then on the screen the ball, hits the Pokemon, and you might capture them.
Sure.
Then you can put a Pokemon in it and take your controller and go around town.
Okay.
And the ball kind of says crap like a Pokemon would.
Really?
So it's like a Pokemon's inside your ball.
That's really cool.
That is going to sell like gangbusters in Japan. I mean, it's going to go nuts.
Oh,
because
no kidding.
tomorrow we're going to see freaking kids everywhere around town with these little Pokeballs.
I think so too.
This is so. I what I didn't realize is there's they call it like mainline Pokemon game, which is like Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Crystal.
Okay, yeah.
There's like the main Pokemon original game series line. Then this is one of these like Pokemon Go is kind of a offshoot of. It's a fun social game.
Right.
Well, when they announced this, they announced a Pokemon game, people went nuts, right? But then they said this is not a mainline game. This is obviously even the name states it. Pokemon Let's Go. It's a Go variant.
Right.
So they said they're still making a mainline game. It's just not coming out yet.
Okay. And they'll be releasing on the Switch, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe even the DS as well, but their main goal, in my opinion, of the Go series is to get a bigger audience into it. Which I have no doubt it will do the trick. Pokemon Go still has people of every age playing.
And it's an older game now.
Yeah, what is it, a year or two?
I don't know, but like when it first came out, obviously everybody knew about it because it was all over the news, it was on the radio, it was all over the place. People were talking about how they are either addicted to it or they know somebody who's addicted to it, who's driving around with this app
you
open.
You had stores creating their own Pokestops, right, or like little menu or items drops,
right,
so people would hang out.
But it's definitely dropped off significantly over the last year because people have moved on to other stuff, or they realize like I'm addicted too much to this, they leave it.
I think there is still a core crowd.
I'm sure there is.
Like anything. But for instance, I stopped playing. I enjoyed it. I would go out of my way to go either walk or drive somewhere, hit a Pokestop, or do one of the little fighting rings or whatever you call them. But it's one of those things where it uses a ton of your battery, and I got kind of sick of having my phone plugged in all the time. And then I tried to get in it the other day because I guess there's been some huge updates since launch that make the game like you can have a Pokemon follow you or on your shoulder or something.
Okay.
But I didn't remember my password, and I didn't really have the gumption to finish the request to get back into it. So
sure.
I let it go, but I want the game on my Switch, but at the same time, I don't want to spend a bunch of money and then never play it.
Right. And I don't. So kids like high schoolers or younger, probably predominantly even younger than high school, more like the 13-year-old age. Well, that's not high school. That's like, what is that? Is that high school?
Which age?
13, 12?
That's middle school.
Middle school, yeah. So in middle school, I think it's going to go gangbusters. I think the idea of having that little talking Pikachu or whatever inside of your ball whenever you capture something and being able to like carry that around with you, to have that basically just, I don't know, gimmick. It's going to be a huge hit for them. I don't think that you will ever use that. I think you will like it in your living room, and that will be it. You will never touch it again.
Touch what?
The Pokeball.
Oh, no, I'd clip it to my backpack. I'd walk around everywhere.
Oh, would you?
I have Pikachu yelling at me.
Okay, never mind. I guess I didn't realize that you would do that. Okay, never mind.
Maybe I'd even hack it to be my GPS and have him talk to me. Take a left here. Pikachu. I almost want to buy it to like save it from my daughter's older. Which seems so stupid because they'll probably have like 3 games out by then.
They'll probably not only have that, they'll probably have something that she's even more interested in by then. So as much as you like the idea of saving it for her, she might not even be interested in Pokemon.
Yeah, I know a couple friends that have kids that are maybe more about 4 to 5, and one of them said that she's getting it for her kids. So I might let them get it and see what it's like.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm gonna hold off on buying it myself. I don't have time. I can barely play Diablo, and that's one of my favorite games. So, you're not. He's not really into Pokemon, is he?
He's not at all.
Yeah. So screw it. I think it's gonna be a sweet game. I bet it's gonna be awesome.
I'm gonna go watch the movie. Which we haven't talked about yet, I guess.
Okay, so Pokemon the movie's coming out,
right?
And I guess
Pokemon Pikachu Detective.
Yeah,
yeah,
Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, Detective Pikachu.
So there was an original announcement of a movie, and it was like half animated, half real.
Right.
People all over the internet shit on it, I guess.
Sure.
This is what I'm told. I have no idea.
I've seen some images, and they look fine, but it's definitely very cartoony and not realistic looking. And if that's the style that you're looking for, then that's what you got. Well,
what Roger Rabbit was like that.
Yeah, exactly. There was a lot of there's a lot of movies like that.
Yeah, no
but
big
either
deal.
way, it didn't fly, and the studio said we're going back to the drawing board on this.
Yeah, this is all news to me. I don't keep up with Pokemon stuff. I just know of it.
Right.
So the trailer dropped of this the new version they had to release to the theaters, and it's high 3D renders, like very high quality 3D renders, live action. It looks really good, but they were like, the trailer opens. I don't want to spoil it, but the trailer opens.
Well, you're not. It's a trailer. You're not spoiling a trailer.
Pikachu's there, and you're waiting, and all of a sudden he starts talking, and it's Ryan Reynolds, and all I can think of is, when is he going to say some shit like Deadpool?
Right. But he can't because it's a kids movie, so he's not gonna be
waiting,
like
the
Deadpool.
whole movie. I was waiting for.
I know because we're so used to Deadpool's voice, that's what we associate his voice with now.
I know, right?
Every video game, he's got his voice in it now, like on the mobile games and stuff like that.
He's a good actor. He's a good voice actor to have for.
Right. I hope he hasn't pinned himself into a corner. He almost wants to pin himself into a corner, kind of like.
Oh, dude, he wants to be Deadpool so hard.
Right. Right. When it comes to Disney, when it comes to everything, like Disney's going to start creating PG-13 Deadpools.
That's a new thing. Is you told me. Did we talk about in the car trip?
Yeah. Well, no, we didn't. We talked about it just offline. Yeah. Offline. And so
you had said, not to go too far off a tangent, but you said Disney's going to make a PG-13 Deadpool so that younger kids can see Deadpool. And then they're going to bring Deadpool into some non-rated R Marvel stuff.
Right, because the rest of their movies are all rated PG-13 when it comes to like the X-Men or the Avengers.
How messed up is this though? Like I don't remember ever hearing about another movie that has done this.
To re-release a movie going from R to PG-13.
Yeah. I mean, they do it for TV.
As far as I know, I've never heard of it happening.
They do it for TV all the time, but like they're literally remaking the movie
and re-releasing it into theaters.
No, seriously?
Seriously. So they're re-releasing the movie, and they're adding scenes into the movie, and then obviously cutting a lot of content out of the movie.
Those jerks. So they want to double dip.
They're definitely double
They're going to add in deleted scenes,
yes,
but then take out the swearing and stuff.
Correct.
Ugh.
So to make it appealing for those who have already watched it, they're adding extra scenes that you've never seen before. Like their opening scene is going to be... the same opening scene that you have in what's your favorite movie?
Princess Bride.
Princess Bride. The opening scene where the kid's in bed and the grandpa's reading him the book.
That's right.
They have the same actor who's the kid but now grown up. He's in bed.
Something Savage.
Right.
Fred Savage.
Yeah, Fred Savage. And then Deadpool reading him the book.
I hope he's wearing a fucking mustache.
Oh, he's wearing a Christmas Santa Claus hat, but I don't know if he's wearing a mustache. But either way, so that's the opening for the movie. Then it goes into the movie, and obviously they'll be editing a lot of stuff out, cutting out the curse words, cutting out inappropriate
gestures and comments,
right?
Maybe naked bodies.
Yep. Any kind of like blood. So when they're cutting people, they will obviously edit out flying limbs and stuff like that. But that's easy because those were technically all CG'd in there in the first place. So they just have to edit it out.
I wonder what the numbers will look like. Like,
I don't know.
Like if you compare Deadpool original, or is it Deadpool 1 or Deadpool 2 they're redoing?
1. They're not redoing number 2 yet. They may not even redo number 2. They're redoing number 1.
Oh, for the origin
so that they
story?
can kind of just so they can kind of push them into modern PG-13 movies that are already coming out and stuff like that.
Is he in the last Avengers movie?
No.
He won't be?
No.
Because I thought in the comics there was one thing where he was the last person left.
He's got all his own jazz.
Okay.
People don't put him in their comics unless they want him to get ruined. I've already said this a bunch of times. He ruins comics. So.
Oh, that's right.
Right.
No one takes him seriously.
Right. Because he's way OP. You can chop him up into a million pieces, and he basically is like a worm to put himself back together. So he's an OP character who thinks everything's a joke, breaks the fourth wall. He doesn't care about what's going on. So if you want to have a serious storyline and then put him into it, you will obliterate it.
Then what other movies is he going to be in the Marvel Universe?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Or do they just want to sell to more kids?
You know, in theory,
because kids already like
in
them.
theory, they could use them as comic relief, use them as a comedian, to, inside of their other movies, but just don't let them go off the rails. Don't let them be a fourth wall breaking character. Don't let them sabotage a movie.
After this next Marvel movie, the next Avengers, most of the current cast is being
they're
dropped, right?
Yeah.
They're going to have to reboot it somehow.
As far as I know, and I am on Twitter a lot, as far as I know, obviously a lot of these characters will be coming back because they have to. They're going to be...
Yeah, but I don't think they might come back, but as the same actor?
Right.
Probably not.
I think what's going to happen is they're going to find a time stone, rewind time, bring everybody back, and then have this big, huge last fight, and then people are going to have to die for real, because now the stones are going to be like broken. They're going to bring everybody back and then shatter the stones. That way Thanos doesn't have all this extra power. But when they shatter the stones, it's for real now. You can't rewind time because the time stone's been shattered. So now everything that happens has actual gravity. Whereas before that, if you did something, we'll just rewind time. Who gives a crap? Where now, if somebody dies, it's over. You can't save them. So as in the process of bringing everybody back, you'll have one last shot to, I guess, pick and choose the real characters that are, one, younger, that can sustain a longevity in this series. Two, if they already have their full trilogy arc, get them out of here. We don't need them anymore. We've already made a bunch of money off of them.
Well, I mean, didn't Captain America, he even tweeted, "Oh, I'm done." And that could have been trolling, right? I mean...
I think they still have them under contract.
And then Tony Stark, what's his face?
I see that's the problem.
He doesn't want to do it, right? I mean,
he didn't want to do it a long time ago. Now he's back into it. He flip flops kind of almost like Ben Affleck. So he likes being Iron Man a lot. He also likes having a life. So
yeah, I think it's hard.
And they have him just strapped to this Iron Man suit, and whatever they want him to do, he has to do it. So I'm sure he wants to just finally be free of it, but at the same time, he loves being Iron Man. He loves...
Dude, he is fucking perfect as Iron Man. I don't know if it's just his acting, or if that's just him being himself, but like his comedy and his assholeness is perfect for Tony Stark.
Everyone loves it. He's A+. That's why he's the center of that universe. And if they kill him, it would be very devastating and very big, but then of course that's why I think that they're probably going to kill him. It's because it's going to be so impactful for the universe.
Yeah. I mean, at the same time, it would be nice to see a new generation of superheroes get brought up, and I think they even started a Marvel Kids or something when we were in the comic book store. Wasn't there like a new... Jesse had it. What does he had on his desk?
He had... No, that's different. That's DC.
Oh, well. It'd just be cool to see new... Like, let's get creative here. Let's not keep remaking Thor and remaking Iron Man.
I think they're going to bring out a new generation. For instance, Captain Marvel, she'll be introduced. She will have her own trilogy to make or whatever for the future. You have Black Panther. He only has one movie out so far. They'll be using him.
He's just been into.
Right.
That girl that does all of his tech.
Yep. She'll probably get her own series.
She should have. She should either, if he dies, she should get her own series, and she should take over because.
I don't think that they'll kill him. I think that,
but she'd be kick ass because she's a tech wizard.
Right. I've heard. I think already rumors that they are going to try to make her into some other superhero and
that'd be cool.
Have her come out.
But yeah, Captain or Miss America. No.
Yeah, Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel. That's brand new. So that's.
Yep. Do you think she's got longevity?
Do you think they only made her just because DC did well with Wonder Woman, or do you think they had?
I think it is a very, very big deal that Wonder Woman came out and they beat Marvel to the punch, which is the only thing that they beat Marvel to anything on. Is they beat Marvel to the punch on having the first big budget female,
successful,
female
superhero.
Correct. So they felt we missed it. We missed the train. We've been beating them to the punch on everything, and they finally beat us to something. So now we have to introduce our character, and everyone's just going to compare our character to Wonder Woman now. So either way, they're going to come out with it and try to see how good it does, and it may be great. Maybe not. I'm not going to make too many predictions on it.
Another rabbit hole? Didn't they just delay Wonder Woman again?
Yeah, they delayed it. They're reshooting the crap out of it.
Ooh. Could be good, though.
Yeah, well...
They definitely know they can't F it up.
Right. So They had an original storyline, from what it sounds like.
She goes back in time or something.
Well, no, that wasn't the original storyline. They had an original story, which is, I think, basically all by itself.
Okay.
And then because they want to remake their arc or their story for DC, that way people start bringing people back. They are reshooting this film to create a new story arc for like the overall bend, if that makes sense. The overall arc.
You're talking about DC's kind of rebooting. They want to reboot
A
everybody's
soft
story,
reboot, if you will.
Yeah.
By just simply changing trajectory. Not
Yeah.
having to like, put a stop on it, reset everything, but changing direction, and that might be a time warp kind of situation where then they can like reset by having the story itself reset, similar to what the new Captain Kirk and what is it? What is that? Star Trek.
Yeah,
the new Star Trek movies are still technically in the same line as all the old Star Trek stuff, but they went back in time for that. So he reset time for his movies. So he's still part of the old stuff, but it's all brand new, and it's absolutely fine. They can do whatever they want with it.
What do you mean? Like
They went back in time. They warped time for his movie.
who did?
The new Star Trek movies.
Yeah, with
The
Chris
very-
Pine, right?
Yeah, Chris Pine's movies. That is a time bending movie. So they went back in time, and so they
Didn't show us going back in time. You mean they started the
movie,
story?
the
when-
movie storyline in that first one
is back when the Enterprise was being made.
right.
So kind of like
But they warp the time so that everything that has existed in the past still exists.
okay, I see what you're saying. They like injected it into the standard Star Trek universe timeline, but didn't disrupt it, so it could still flow if you watched it.
For instance, okay, this is what happened. It's an old movie now. Everyone's seen it, so there's no reason to not spoil it. What happened was all the old stuff has been, but some guy, some villain, is going back in time to
do I
try
not
to
remember
kill
this?
Captain Kirk's dad. Or the other way around. He's either trying to kill Captain Kirk, he's trying to kill Captain Kirk's dad. Either way, he's trying to wipe out fucking
Is that
Captain
Khan?
Kirk. No. He's like a green alien. I don't know what he's called.
I wonder if I've not.
But
seen
he
the
goes
latest
back
movie.
in time, kills Captain Kirk's dad. I don't know if that was on purpose, if he was trying to kill Captain Kirk's dad, or if he was trying to kill Captain Kirk. Either way, he killed his dad. And because of that, changed the whole entire history of Star Trek. So, it is still a part of the whole entire line. Anyone who thinks that it's not is just not looking at how the story plays out. Just look at the story. Everything is still connected. This story just happens to change the trajectory of the whole entire story arc. So they can do that same thing with DC. They've already done it with Star Trek. They've already done it with the X-Men. The X-Men go back in time. They have the original trilogy of the old X-Men, and then a lot of people hated the last episode, and they didn't even know what to do with it, so they stopped making X-Men movies, and they only made Wolverine movies, because Wolverine was still popular, so they made like 3 or 2 Wolverine movies, and then they started making new ones, but they weren't really sure how to. For somebody thought, we got to connect these, because the new ones are cool, but the old ones still exist. We really like Wolverine. We want to bring in Wolverine. The only way we can get Wolverine is we got to use Hugh Jackman. Everyone knows that Wolverine is Hugh Jackman. You know what I mean? Well, they did. Somebody wrote a brilliant script, and they warped time again, so that they're able to go back in time and change everything so that they're all connected in one piece. Everything that existed before, everything that exists now is
That's
still
right.
one
I do remember
story
that movie.
arc.
I don't think I've seen Star Trek Beyond. I've seen Star Trek Into the Darkness.
I've seen 1, 2, and I think I even rented 3, but somehow didn't have a shot to watch it. And then
Because that's the
time
one where
has
you're
passed.
talking about, right?
No, I'm talking about the original one. The first one, Chris Pine. He's the one that warps time. The first villain with the green
Wow.
face.
I'm gonna have to rewatch this because I do not remember that. That
That's
came out,
serious, and I haven't seen the last one, so
That came out in 2009.
That's crazy.
I didn't realize how old it was.
Wow.
The Pinball Machine, super fun. Anyway, I was just reading the wiki, and they said there's a 4th film. The contracts were signed. So That would be awesome. I love that Star Trek rebooted series.
I love his Captain Kirk.
Oh, so good.
Right. I don't, in general, I don't care for Star Trek. I'm more of a Star Wars guy. But his Star Trek, what J.J. Abrams' Star Trek, I think is A+. Love it.
Yeah. Huge fan. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's unrabbit hole this shit. We were talking
Pull out of
about,
everything.
we were talking about a movie that it was Deadpool.
Oh, we
but
were
what was
talking
before
about
that.
We were starting with Pokemon. The new
Oh, the
Pokemon
trailer?
movie is how we got here in the first place.
So the Pokemon Pikachu, Detective Pikachu looks amazing. It does have some humor to it. Does it look like it's in Japan? I think it is.
Yeah,
based in Japan.
Yeah,
it should be super good. I'm excited for it. I'm not a huge I played Pokemon on the Game Boy. I've played it on my phone. It's cool. I like it, but I'm not obsessed. Mm-hmm. I will definitely watch this movie.
I have never been into Pokemon. I don't care about Pokemon. It means nothing to me at all. When people talk about Pokemon Go, it just blows right by me. I don't even stop to even think about what they're saying because I don't care. Yet, even this trailer, had I not seen it, like if I would have just like saw it on YouTube, I would have blown right by it, not even clicked on it. But it was on Twitter, and as I'm scrolling, and it's autoplays, and I just stopped long enough to let it autoplay. And I got sucked into the trailer, and I was like, I am totally watching this movie. This movie looks awesome. I think it looks funny. I think it looks cute. I think it looks it looks like a total blast.
It looks like it'll be a good movie for adults and kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I feel. I feel like I can bring my son there. He's going to have a blast, and I'm going to have a blast.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to watch this movie.
You know what this movie just reminded me of just now? The Power Rangers reboot that freaking sucked.
Let's not bring up that because that might ruin
they had a chance to make a good movie.
They did,
and they freaking blew it.
They did.
Anyway,
there is my brother-in-law. He loves that movie, so that's even more crazy. Is he thinks it's super good, and I think, oh, you're a crazy person. You are a crazy person.
God, I remember the Power Rangers. All right, the next big topic.
Yes,
Diablo 3.
Probably the reason why you guys stopped to listen to this episode in the first place.
This was the whole point. We're just trolling you.
Yeah, exactly. We dragged you along this far. We might as well start going into our review of Diablo 3 on the Switch.
All right, so I was in college. Diablo 3 was released. I bought it day one. I played it for maybe a week or a month. Diablo 3 came out a long time ago.
Yeah.
Really liked it, but I was huge into Diablo 2, doing like bail runs and all this. We do, the same run to a boss to try to get the unique drops. So Diablo 3 felt good, but the graphics were a lot different. The gameplay was similar, but there was a lot of like a different tree for your upgrades and stuff. So it was a good upgrade, but it felt different, but it didn't hook me. And maybe I got busy because I was in college, so
sure,
a lot of homework, but it didn't keep me.
Okay.
So, and I also, when I started up Diablo 3 on the Switch, I had no idea, I don't remember any of that original stuff.
Oh, all the storyline.
So at any rate, so that's my backstory. I love Diablo. The games, I've played all of them. I've beat all of them except for this third one. I'm not done yet.
Oh, you even played the original.
Oh, hell yeah, I played the original. Doing the gold dupe to duplicate items without a trainer. It was great.
Okay, so I don't know anyone who's played the original, so that's cool that you played it.
Oh, that's because I'm old.
Yeah, there's that.
I am a giant fan of dungeon crawlers.
Yeah,
love them. I don't like the RPG-ish aspect, but Diablo was pretty good back in the old day of being really easy to upgrade your guy, not making it
overwhelming.
Too overwhelming. Yeah,
I'm the same way. I like dungeon crawlers quite a bit, and I like light RPGs. Heavy RPGs that are very detailed, and you have to upgrade every single little thing. You got to put your different jewels on them to enchant them, or all this different stuff. I don't care. You went too far. I just don't got the time or the want to give a crap about that much stuff. I like putting on cool armor, and yes, this maybe looks better or it has more ability to it. Great, put that on. I understand why I put that on. But then when you want to break it down to the minute stuff, like, well, you add this little thing to it or add that little thing to it, and it keeps tinkering with it. It's like I'm not going to tinker with any of this stuff. Stop putting that in my face. Anyways, when it comes to Diablo, as a kid, I had a very restricted family. Diablo is obviously Satan, so I was definitely not playing this game.
Did they have a game like
Bible games? Of course.
Yeah.
and I played
they called
them.
it a heaven crawler.
They have one. They have a Bible one for the Nintendo, and they have something else.
Don't even talk. Did you play Bible Adventures on NES?
Yes.
That's jacked up, dude.
It is.
That's
it's
like
a garbage game.
That's been a joke on the internet.
I know that it's a garbage game, but I played it.
You should be interviewed on everybody else's like Stone Age gamers and stuff. Just like
I played it. I'm the one who played
this
it.
kid played it for real.
He didn't play it. He wasn't ironic. He was playing it because that was his game.
Yeah.
No, I played that for sure. Anyways, let's get past all that. So when it comes to Diablo, I didn't play it until it released on Xbox 360.
3?
Correct.
Obviously, yes. 2 never came out. Okay,
Right.
so you never played 2.
I never played 1, never played 2.
Okay.
I only played 3 after release on the 360, and that came with the expansion.
Why did you try it?
Because I was out in North Dakota at the time, I was isolated, and I needed a game that could play offline, that I knew was going to be deep and long. So this game, I have heard many, many times that it's got tons of replayability. You can play it forever, and you don't have to be online. Now, I played it the whole way through and played it, completely offline. Found out later, it's way better if you play it online. You can play with friends and all this different stuff. And I was like, I don't know anything about that. I played mine, just basically storylines is what I did. I mean, I loved it. I thought it was good. But that was without playing with anybody else, without trading stuff with people and stuff like that.
You also played it before one or multiple versions of content were released. Because I was day one, so there was nothing added.
Right. I was after the Death expansion.
Okay.
I'm not sure that that's the right way to call it, but it's when Death is introduced into the game, and you have to face off against him, and his storyline is also really good. The main one is epic and awesome. His secondary chapter or whatever you want to add to it, that's also very, very good. I love the art in it. That's probably one of the best things about this entire game is the cutscenes are so artistic and so incredible.
Oh my god, yeah. What's nuts? This is again, I will, and this maybe is more old school Blizzard, but they take so much time to release a game. It pisses consumers out, some consumers, because they want the game. They're so fanboyish or fans that they want the next game.
Yeah. But
the old Blizzard knew that you had to wait, get the game to a certain level, because if you release a bad game, it's going to tank and your name's going to be dragged through the sand.
Right.
Like they had StarCraft Ghost, which was supposed to release on like N64 and PS2, I think. And that got canceled because it probably wasn't a good game. I would love to have it released now as like a prototype build and kind of just to mess with it, but that was a third-person StarCraft game.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was super interesting. And what's crazy is Diablo 3 came out, I think it was like 10, 12 years ago, and it's still being updated. They just released a new expansion, the Necromancer,
Yeah.
this year, 2018. So,
Which is insane that instead of releasing Diablo 4, they would release just more expansions. So like people are still playing it, keep just piling on the expansions.
yeah, it's not like you buy the game. There's no monthly fee.
Yep.
But now with the Switch drop, I think it's doing really well.
It is doing well, and that's the thing. They just keep releasing it on new platforms.
It's not the Skyrim levels yet. I mean, we don't have Diablo 3 on a toaster, but it's coming.
Right. Exactly.
The cool thing is the Switch version has all the current content bundled in and released.
Yep.
And I bought the physical. You did too.
Yep.
And we also got a coworker a copy.
Yep.
He gave me cash. Luckily, I'm not buying free games for him.
And he beat it in the
God.
very first weekend.
This is
I could not believe that he has that much time.
There's no responsibilities.
I get it,
happens
but
when
at
you have
the
no
same
kids.
time, I just couldn't. I couldn't even wrap my head around. I was like, how? What do you do outside of work,
played the
clearly
game.
nothing. Yes. I couldn't believe that he beat it in one weekend.
I played with them that
That's
weekend.
5 chapters. He beat 5
wow.
chapters.
I'm on chapter 2.
That's what I'm saying.
They take a handful of hours to beat each. So, I mean, I don't know, 2 to 4 hours a chapter? Or an act? I guess. I mean, he said he plowed through.
I didn't.
And we were playing on normal. And he probably didn't, like, explore the entire map. He
probably just ran through it.
Yeah. Me and you did play with him once.
Oh, yeah. Of course, he was like God mode compared to us.
Yeah.
But either way, it was still enjoyable.
The one thing I wanted to say was...
actually. Go ahead.
All the content is on the disc, or that little cartridge.
Yeah.
So there was no download needed. The only download needed was if you wanted a language outside of English.
Oh.
You pop the game in, you can play. That was super cool.
Mm-hmm. I guess I didn't even think about that. I popped it in and started playing, but I guess for some reason, it never crossed my mind that I didn't have to wait for a download.
Yeah, there's a lot of games that have like a day one, and some of them are like a gig, so you're freaking waiting.
Yeah, it's still in my rotation. I don't play it consistently all the time right now, but I am still playing it. In between, like one mobile game I play, and then 2 Switch games, like it's this and Starlink. In between those 3 games.
Okay, so it's still relevant.
Yeah,
it's still in my Switch. I just haven't turned my Switch on since we played.
Okay, sure.
I know when I was in, where the hell was I? I was just gone somewhere. Maybe I was sick or something. You and Dustin played here at lunch.
You were sick. That's what it was. And that while you were sick, Dustin and I got really far.
Yeah.
I doubled my rank. Doubled it. I was a 12, and I went to like a 24.
So the hard part is
one sitting with him.
Whoever hosts the game, you join in, and even like Steve was new to the game. He was like level 2 or 5 or something.
5.
We joined Dustin's game. You and I both did.
Yeah. And he was a god.
We jumped to Act 2. I wasn't even done with Act 1, I don't think. Right? I had just started it. But we jumped to his end of Act 2.
Because he was hosting it.
Yep. So it skipped all of our stories. And I was like, spoiler. But honestly, I have no idea who the hell these people are talking about. I just go, oh, it's probably a bad person.
That was exactly my thought. I was like, jeez. I wanted to do this organically all over again, but at the same time, it's like you've already played it once. Like, you just need to chill out. But I was like, I wanted to play this, fresh from the very beginning. But nonetheless, right? Yeah, go on.
So because we joined his game, we skipped a bunch of our stories on our own, but we leveled up real fast. Got
Super
some
fast.
Sweet item drops.
That was the best part about playing with him. If you're a low level and you play with a high level, you get so much jazz. And yes, the villains are harder to kill, but like they're still not killing you. You just take your time going through them. The big deal is he just runs through them, and then you're like, just you're trying to stay in front of him or stay away from him. That way you can still kill people. That way, because if he just runs through, he just kills them all, and you have nothing left.
He's the necromancer, so. He even said that he's overpowered, where he has upgraded his guy so he, lifts 7 guys from the dead, and then he just walks around and has all of his enemies, or all of his dead, kill everybody for him. He doesn't do anything.
Yeah, but when you are end game, like a wizard or something like that, so like last time I played this game, I played it through as a wizard. And as a wizard, when you try to go back and play like the small levels, or even the big levels at the very end, you're so powerful. You just run through hovering. You don't even touch the ground. You just hover, and you just put your hands out, and you just do this huge geyser beam, just and just waste everybody. So, yes, he can just walk through, but even as a wizard, you just hover through and
That's
just
true.
blasting, obliterating everything.
For some reason, even when I'm like god moding, I'm not sick of it. I still find it fun.
Oh, it's tons of fun. It's tons of fun. Same with like back in the day with Dynasty Warriors. When you're chopping down hundreds of people, it's just tons of fun.
I don't know why. It's just fun to it's like you don't have to concentrate. You just zone out and button mash.
That's I think why it's so much fun. Is you just you're just kind of shut down, but still enjoying everything.
Mm-hmm.
You just relaxing. It's relaxing, is what it is.
Relaxing.
It's not intense. It's not scary. You're not gonna die right now, but you're just having a good time.
So then when we left Dustin's game, I was like, I go back to play mine, and I started when I resumed the game. I started where we left off, which sucked. I was so pissed.
Yeah.
However, I found out through the menu system,
Yeah.
you kind of have to dig in a little bit. You can go back and start again from the act or like the stage inside the act.
Which I was glad that you found out right away, because I was also very concerned about that, because I did the same thing. As soon as he left, I checked. I was like, hopefully this loads where I left off, and it didn't. Shot us right back to where we were, and I was like, that's not what I wanted to happen.
Yeah, because I did want to completely play that Act 2 by myself. Like, not by myself, but I wanted to go back.
No,
I didn't want to skip it.
That's what I wanted to do as well. So I was very grateful that you found out you can just go right back into the menu, go down to your act, punch right in there.
Yeah. So that is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So that even so, if Dustin was on Act 5, we could go join him. We might spoil the story for us. We can go join, battle, and then you can go pick up. Now it resets your game to that act.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you were halfway through that act, you're now starting back at the beginning of that act, or not the act, I should say, but the stage inside the act.
Correct.
But I don't care. That doesn't take that long.
No, it's minor. Besides that, it's also a refresher.
Yeah. I've played it in handheld. I've played it in docked mode. Handheld the graphics are kind of turned down a bunch. I didn't think it. I'm not a graphics person, so I could care less.
I am a graphics person, but I still prefer it in handheld mode.
But really? I put it in docked mode, and it was like, I have a Pro Controller. The TV's all big.
I understand. That's
Graphics
exactly
are
what
better.
Dustin said. That's exactly what Dustin said. You guys love it on the screen. I just I love being able to just lay on my couch. I get that I love being able to walk around and just be mobile and still be playing this game. And the graphics, even though I'm a graphics guy, they're not dumbed down enough that I'm disappointed with what I'm looking at.
Is there anything else? I got a con for the game, but
okay, so graphics wise for this game, if you're familiar with Diablo, it's the same thing. They didn't like upgrade the graphics or anything for this new release. The graphics are great. I think that they're good on both the Switch and the TV. When it's docked and it's on the TV, they are better. They are bigger. They are brighter. So just keep that in mind. When it comes to like gameplay, it's a dungeon crawler. If you're familiar with how it works on a console, works the same way.
Except I did want to point out, when they announced Diablo for 360 and PlayStation 3,
yes,
I was skeptical as hell. That
everyone was.
How are you going to make a game like this work with a fucking controller?
Yeah, everyone was. They didn't believe that it was possible.
Holy smoke. I never played this on a console before the Switch.
Sure.
But you and a couple other friends had played it, said it was great, blah, blah. I'm going, you guys are nuts.
Right.
When I started picked up on the Switch, it translates very well to a controller.
It's no problem at all. So that's why. So I've only ever played it on consoles. I never played it on a computer. So for me to go from the Xbox version to the Nintendo version was no issue at all.
I still think
smooth.
it's for me being from PC Diablo. I still prefer it on PC. It's so much easier to navigate quickly because it's a mouse. You're just flicking around.
Sure.
Menus are fast on PC. On the console, you have.
That's probably the biggest thing.
You pull up a button and then you have to rotate your joystick to pick things. I mean, it's a little cumbersome, but it works well with what you have.
Yep.
Now, Xbox and maybe even PlayStation have now released keyboard mouse support. So
yeah, but they're not going to change the whole game for it.
I wonder. They might have a patch. I don't know.
Maybe. I can't imagine that just because of the controller that you're using, they'd give you a totally different version of the game, like menu.
Not version. Oh,
that's what I'm saying.
You menu. Yeah.
The menu would still be the same.
Yeah, maybe. That would be a big change.
Right. I'm excited for that too, though. I'm going to probably buy a keyboard or steal a keyboard or something like that for my Xbox as well. Because I at least want to try it out to see if I'm going to enjoy it. It'd be fun for actually internet surfing if you want to use it as a full-blown computer.
Does it have a browser on it?
Yep.
And it has Edge on it?
Yeah, and it works good, but since it's a controller, it's difficult. If you had any kind of gamepad, so they allow you to use your phone. If you open up your Xbox app, you can use your phone as a keyboard.
Kind of like a Roku.
Right. So that kind of helps.
Hey, if you don't want a game with a keyboard and mouse, you could there's a Microsoft, I don't know if it's a Bluetooth or the 2.4 wireless, but you can plug in the dongle and it's a keyboard and a touchpad built into one unit. And we have one at work. You should check that out. That'd be a super nice keyboard.
Microsoft has that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try that out. I know that
But
Razer
if you
made
want a
one.
game, then you're going to want a gaming mouse and keyboard.
That's true. Because a touchpad isn't going to be any more benefit.
Nope, it's going to suck.
Right.
How do you think the online experience was with Diablo?
I didn't experience it too much except for when I actually interacted with you guys, and I thought that it was very smooth, except, and I think this is the biggest except of all, since it's on Nintendo, Nintendo has a massive issue when it comes with communication. So
There's a couple of reasons. There's a couple issues with Nintendo, but yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. So if you're on Xbox Live or if you're on PlayStation, you're used to a very simplified experience. You want to join a buddy? You just open up your friends list, you click on them, and you invite them, or you just click join and you join them. That's how easy it is on Xbox. And when you join them, you can either join their party chat, either by adding them to a party. That way, you guys will be isolated, so no one else will be able to talk to you. Or when you click on them directly, usually you'll just go right into their game chat, like if they're not already in a party. So you'll start be able to talk to them instantly. Nintendo doesn't have any of that crap. So you have to use like Xbox or Xbox Live or Discord or something to be able to communicate properly, or at least smoothly. I know Nintendo has one. Not smooth. Not good.
Yeah, their phone app is kind of garbage.
Right. To find friends is also a difficult scenario.
Oh my goodness.
That was more frustrating than I thought it was going to be. And I was like, whoa, what do I have to do here? So it takes some effort to think about what you're supposed to do and kind of work your way through it. Whereas again, Xbox or PlayStation, you just pop out, friend list, done. And it was convoluted.
Guess what the other gotcha is on the Switch?
What?
So me and you both bought the 1-year season pass or whatever for online. Dustin had not. Me and him were trying to play, and he kept like, I can't get on. I don't know. The online won't work. I don't know what he was seeing. Like, I don't know if the error came up and said you need to buy the one, like the subscription.
Okay, but he must have eventually just bought it then.
Correct, because then I remembered when he said online wouldn't work.
But that's fine because
But it just, like I said, I don't know what he saw. If the error had told him to go pay for the online service, that's one thing. That's normal. That's completely fine. But if the error was you don't have access to that, it's like, what do you mean?
Right.
I bought this game.
Right.
So there was another thing of play online, to play with friends.
Yes.
Online, you need, and I wonder if you can play offline switch to switch without online.
That's a very good question.
Because you can do that.
Yes.
But do you need the online service?
That's a good question. Like if we were sitting in a room, so I sat in a room with him and played with him, switch to switch.
Was it switch to switch or the internet?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember.
And you have to pick that gameplay, I think, before you get into the game.
Right. And I don't know how we played it. I don't know if we played it over the internet or if we played directly. And that was also probably after he bought the program.
Yep.
So I wouldn't know it either way, I guess.
I would agree. Once we got on, it was like, how do you get this friend in and how, can you join correctly?
Luckily, so the first time I played, I literally turned on my Xbox and you invited me immediately.
Yeah, so I was in his game and I'm like, once you get the hang of it, it's not a big deal.
Nintendo, but go on.
Well, you have your Nintendo go through your Xbox.
That's true. So that's another point.
Once I was in Dustin's game, I saw you somehow. You hit like the minus button or plus to bring up a menu, and then you can in the upper right click invite friends, and that's how I invited you.
Well, either way, it was slick from my point of view. Like the first time we played,
invited.
Oh yeah, easy. You just accept the invite and you're in. So, but when you invited me that fast, since I just showed up, I thought it was like a delayed invite from like a time before or something like that. I was like, there's no way he just invited me. I just turned on the Switch. But either way, I accepted it just to see what would happen. And then you guys actually were online and it wasn't a delayed invite. So yeah, if you're being invited, slick and smooth. Still can't talk to anybody. So how we played it without talking to anybody, because we didn't want to take the effort to go find headsets and stuff like that. We just would like run in a direction, and then the rest of us would all kind of run together.
I think Mickey was watching TV or something, so I didn't want to chat while we were playing. And we had a group text going, and I just texted like, "Can't talk. I'll just follow around."
Sure.
But
I guess I don't know if I even looked at that text then, because I was waiting for you guys to do something, and then I could tell he was waiting for me to do something. I was like, oh, okay, well then just here I go, and then he followed me. But that's a weird way to play, because it's been so many years since I've played an online game with a friend without actually communicating with them.
it'd be like Dark Souls or
Oh,
Demon Souls. There was no chatting. You could leave a message, and you could go join someone's game either to kill or help them, but there was no talking.
Mm-hmm.
Now people did the same thing. They got like I used to play on PlayStation, but then I'd chat on Xbox Live.
Sure.
Because I had both consoles.
Sure.
So it's similar. Yeah, maybe Nintendo. I don't think they're gonna figure it out. They're a Japanese company. They're gonna want you to play it the way they want you to play it.
Yeah.
And as much as we yell,
Yeah.
the Japanese, I guess, the way they play, they don't do that, or they use their phone to chat already, so that's normal for them.
Like if they just had their phone open, like they're just talking, like
Yeah.
okay.
So I think the way gamers play in
guess.
Japan, that's kind of how they do it. But in the U.S., I think most of us are used to Xbox and PlayStation. Even
I think
PlayStation
so.
was lagging on what Xbox did. So
Yeah. Xbox came out and revolutionized at least how consoles work. I don't know about
PlayStation was late, but
yeah, PlayStation was now. I was gonna say PC. PC obviously had communication before,
Yep.
but
And
but
that's just
Live
built
made
in.
it smooth. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Steam made PC playing smoother.
Okay, there you go.
Totally recommend the game. I've purchased it twice now. Obviously, I don't think all the
By
content.
twice, you mean one for the
PC,
PC,
one for Switch.
Okay. Same with me. I purchased.
However, the expansion packs were not free, so I did not buy those on PC.
right. Whereas this is all inclusive. Yeah.
Totally recommend it. Totally recommend it.
Yeah. If you are into dungeon crawlers, this is the definitive dungeon crawler. You should definitely get it.
However, I read on maybe Reddit or someone said Diablo was either boring for them or they didn't like it. There is another game that's free to play. It's called Path of Exile.
Right, and I downloaded it. I never did play it because it was so close to the release date of Diablo that I didn't want it to, I guess, get drawn into one game when I'm just going to drop it for the next one anyway. So I deleted it.
Yeah, that I heard is a really good Diablo-like game.
Right.
If you are also into PC gaming, there's another game called Torchlight and Torchlight 2 that I was huge into. Also another kind of cool dungeon crawler. The graphics are a little, I won't say kiddie, but they're more cartoony. But it was one of the first dungeon crawlers to have you'd have a pet that could run back to town and kind of be your donkey. So you'd have a cat or a dog. And
Oh, what is it called?
Torchlight.
Torchlight. Oh yeah. That's for Nintendo, isn't it?
No, it was on PC.
I swear I saw something about Torchlight on the Nintendo Switch.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Never heard of it on the Switch, but
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
there's
maybe
probably a
I'm
Torchlight game, like not the name, like not Torchlight, but
The
like
brand.
the name similar.
Okay. You're probably right. Or
This
maybe
Torchlight 2 is old.
And here's the thing: I play a lot of Xbox and I play a lot of Nintendo, so it could have been from either one of those categories.
Yeah, I don't see it for Switch,
Okay.
but those are also good recommendations for anybody that is into dungeon crawlers. Obviously, the classic is like Boulder's Gate and
Yeah.
some others. But
I played that a lot as a kid
did you?
on PlayStation 2.
Whew, old school, yeah.
Yep.
You know what? Another really hidden gem, quote unquote, for a dungeon crawler, Marvel Alliance.
Those are A+ games.
They're 4-player dungeony
They're
crawlers.
so good.
And they're amazing.
They're so good. I completely forgot about those games.
God, what if you put that on a freaking arcade one up?
What? That would be great. Well, yes, that'd be amazing. That'd be super good. They'll never do it.
No, but you could if you could put like a Raspberry Pi or
Yeah.
customize a 4-player.
There you go.
Oh, because that's a newer 4-player game.
That would be bomb.
It'd
That'd be so cool
be bomb diggity tastic.
to have that in an arcade form.
Because there's 2 of those. There's like a sequel that
That
was
would be
made.
awesome.
Oh, that was a good game. Was that on PlayStation 2?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
That's all I got.
All right. Well, we can wrap it up there anyways. You can follow us on Facebook because we're constantly putting up new video game.
You are putting tons of content on Facebook. You're almost turning us into IGN, which is cool because now that you post news articles about everything that we talk about, constantly, all day long, I'm seeing new articles from us. Well, we're not writing it. We're reposting articles from around.
Right, exactly. I'm not being a prolific writer. I'm just stealing everybody else's content.
However, I've seen we're reaching out to more people. Like more people are seeing us. They're liking us. We haven't had a lot of interaction, but
Yeah, but we're growing slowly on Facebook. So you can find us easily on Facebook by just searching for Flippin' and Mashin'. You'll see our logo on there. Same with Spotify. A great place to just search for us is on Podbean. Just go to Podbean and search for Flippin' and Mashing. That has links to all the rest of our social media, our own personal accounts, and our YouTube accounts and stuff like that. So it'll be a great place to find anything related to us is just to go to Podbean and search for Flippin' and Mashin'.
And if you are in the Twin Ports area of northern Minnesota and Wisconsin, our Facebook group, Twin Ports Pinball, is the group for up here to talk about pinball, any places you play. Otherwise, the Rex Bar, downtown Duluth. Hopefully I can get Black Knight fixed here this weekend or something. I keep saying this. Every weekend I say this. But my wife comes back from vacation. I'm going to hand her the baby. Peace out. Just kidding. But I definitely want to get that game. I had a dream crossing the bridge on the way to work thinking, once I drop one more game, we'll have 3 games there that are running. We're going to be a location. Like, it's going to get more popular.
Yeah. And if you get 4 in there, then you'd be solid.
Then we'll be the location for Duluth. So if you're visiting up in Duluth Superior, stop at the Rex, check it out. And if you see a game broken or needs fixing of some sort at the Rex, please post up on the Facebook group so I can fix it.
Right. All right. You guys have a great day. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.